Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! Chris Hargreaves, the captain! If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells!
Hello, welcome to the latest Gull'S review brought to you by Galaxy TQ. I'm joined by Chris.
Evening all.
I'm joined by Dom.
Evening.
Joined by Tom.
Good evening.
And as you can tell, I definitely did not butcher the intro the first two times I tried it. Right. So now what I'm going to call this video is we're rock bottom again. You may have noticed when we originally hit rock bottom, when we lost 6-0 to Wrexham, I named the video Rock Bottom. And we were like, oh, it's not going to get much worse than this, but what even is rock bottom anymore? So these three were at Barnet. I wasn't. I was in Bournemouth watching a gig and being quite annoyed about the result. We'll start with Dom, as you had a nice away day and all that. What are your thoughts?
Oh, the social side was good. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of us there to enjoy the company and catch up with a few friends and all that lot. Yeah, a sociable day. But the football wasn't very good.
That's always away days, though, isn't it? Football's the worst part of a football away.
I say about the game. I mean, it wasn't two very good teams, to be honest. Barnet weren't any better than us, but they scored the all-important goal. I felt like we were set up a bit better defensively. We had a bit of shape about us. I think Gary Johnson had kind of thought, right, we've been open enough. We'll have to sort of try and seal the gaps up a little bit, play a bit more compact. But of course, we give away a cheap 10th minute goal, and that undoes some of that kind of structure, and you've got to chase the game.
Yeah, it's just you can't concede goals like that.
And without De Silva playing, we just lack pace. Something we lacked all last season. Suddenly we've got one pacey player on loan. Without him, we're all one pace and the slowest team in the league again. And there was a lot of huffing and puffing after that. A lot of balls played up, a lot of challenges, a few shots, but it didn't feel like it was ever going to come to me. I sort of looked round at Chris and we looked at each other thinking,
oh, you know that.
It's going to be one of those days, isn't it?
Even just following the result, you've seen it all before. And I'll let you get into it a bit more, but we can say we at the post didn't win the second half, but we can say this. But you can't be unlucky 20 and win 3 games out of 20. If that makes sense. These results have happened because of reason.
I don't think we deserve to lose the game. I think is probably the positive in an odd sort of way, because
if we were going to score, it was going to be a set piece, and we had a few chances, didn't we? Ellis missed a great chance of a header that he was really upset about because it was right on his head, and a few chances like that. And another day it goes in, but I think we're just finding new ways to lose games. We're scoring goals and losing them. We're conceding one, we're still losing them. It's just we're just finding different ways to
I think we're finding ways to damage ourselves, because if you look at the goal, again, talking about sides having to work hard, those 3 of those Chesterfield goals, when people, wang it in the top corner from 25 yards. Yes, you could press the ball quicker. Yes, you could get out quicker, but fundamentally they were good goals. But if you look at the goal, it's just so poor. Poor, because it was a good ball in, and a kind of an in-swinging ball across the back of the defenders is always hard because you're facing your own goal, aren't you? But fundamentally, it wasn't the defenders that had to deal with it, because McGavin, who actually I thought was okay overall in midfield, brought a bit of creativity, got forward a bit more, broke the lines a little bit more, rather than it being a much more structured team. But he's just got, again, you watch the goal, if he just keeps running another 4 paces, he's in front of the ball and he meets it. He's the right side of the man. He'll beat it, flick it out, head it out, clear it, whatever. But he just stops. Carries on, and he's
there, Chris, isn't he?
He's on top of the goal.
Enough to get his, get going before the ball's played. He doesn't have that understanding. He's not quick enough to get to it.
So
it was a great ball in.
Like that.
It was a great ball in.
Amazing ball in, but it's just.
It was a good ball in, but it was defendable if people do their jobs.
You can't bounce frustration. In your 6-yard box, for God's sake. When you're chasing the game, conceding everything all the time, it's so much harder. If that game stays 0-0, you're growing confidence, all that.
It's these early goals that are killing us as well. I mean,
Just
I
every
think that
goal
was
now we can see so much,
that
aren't we?
Continuous, isn't it? It's either the start of the first half or the start of the second half, isn't it, Tom? I mean,
we still haven't had a complete performance yet, have we? Really, we seem to play in spurts for maybe 45 minutes a game, but when we've conceded, what was that, 20 goals in a row now we've conceded? You know, we've not kept a clean sheet. I'm sorry, but you're not gonna do well if you're going to keep conceding goals like that. As soon as I saw the team sheet, I was worried. As soon as I saw De Silva wasn't there, I thought, oh God, here we go. Right, no pace. I said it to you guys, didn't I? Like, there's no pace in this team.
There was quite a few gaps on the right-hand side at times to exploit as well, but we couldn't get up there quick enough to take advantage, and that's frustrating.
And Barnett's goal really annoyed me at the time. People around me were sort of wondering why I was really upset, but like Chris said, all he's got to do is just keep going, and he's going to get the ball.
Yeah.
And he's such a slow player. Like, there's nothing that I've seen out of McGavin. I mean, yes, he had his moments, I suppose, but it just doesn't seem to me to be conductive in the midfield. You need that pace in this team. Again, how many times have we said this year, pace, pace, pace? There's just none in this team, and I'm worried. I'm really worried.
I'm so worried.
I can't. We're not learning from mistakes still. And we're nearly halfway through the season
20
now.
games in, we've got 14 points.
I dread to think what happens if we lose. We'll get to it later, but if we can't beat Gateshead.
Oh, God.
I don't even want to
think. For today,
that is for episode 2. But the thing is, I mean, that was Barnet. I believe that was their 4th clean sheet in a row. And they're in they're 6th now. And like Dom said, I don't think they were particularly brilliant, but they did they did their job effectively.
Yeah.
And I think it just goes to show you just need a little bit of quality. And
you can I mean, they had margins. They had a bit of pace up front, didn't they? And they had a stubborn defence, and that's enough to win your games in this league. You don't have to be amazing. If your defence stands firm and you got a bit of something to tuck away some goals, then you can win it. But we haven't discovered that all season.
And again, we had nearly 250 Torquay fans there. Brilliant attendance for the Yellow Army.
And Yellow Army, yeah.
Surely our support is going to get rewarded at some point. It has to.
Big shout out, by the way, to the Tom Lapsley Appreciation Society. It was their meetup at Barnet, so great for them as well.
Yeah, I think I trying to be positive. I'll try. I think compared to the wide open spaces there have been in the last probably 3 games before, like Dom said, structurally we looked a little bit better.
Tactically, it looked like a team that could be set up and win 1-0.
Yeah, it wasn't because of a lack of De Silva playing. It was a much more kind of a 4-2, kind of 4-2-1, kind of 3-1 formation. So there was a bit more. There was much more kind of, when the ball turned over, we weren't just getting, a couple of times early on they kind of came through and thought, it's the same system, but actually after that the actual system worked much better and there was more resilience in front of the back 4 than there has been. But we also didn't, Dom kind of said it, but I think it sounds strange, but in the second half we had all of the play, we had all of the territory, we had all of the ball, but you didn't think we were going to score a goal. We might have scored a goal. We might have got a goal from a set piece or a second phase set piece or a header or, but we didn't actually get through them and break them down with a pattern of play or getting someone down in behind, or we didn't kind of, we didn't look like we were going to break them down and hurt them, and again, it's that thing about pace, isn't it? It's pace on the attack, and good win out wide just doesn't work. He was much wider. It just doesn't work.
Very much echoed a number of bad seasons we've had where we're in games. But you can see.
Yeah, that's in the Gary Hours season, isn't it? We were thinking, we just lost. Amount of games we lose 1-0, we'll play away. We would play the next, and then we'd not do well in the home games. But we played all right though. Literally, I get the roles for recording. I get the fixtures and episodes up, and 14 points. We have to be mid-table already. We have to be basically a mid-table team to stay up, which of course should be doable, but where we're playing right now,
it became
wins
obvious.
Are hard to come by. Wins are hard.
And it's not just when people, it annoys me so much when people go, we're only 5 points, that's like 2 wins. Other teams are going to start picking up results as well, like they already have Gateshead 1, who we're playing.
Yeah, it's only 4 or 5 points, but we've only won 3 all season.
We're in big trouble.
Yeah, it became obvious, didn't it, very quick in the second half that Ellis was the target man, and that was going to be the way we were going to get into that game. And
long throw, set pieces.
Yeah. And he should have scored. Numerous times he should have scored. And Donnellan at the end, I mean, it was a good hit. Took a deflection, which I think took a little bit of the pace off the ball of the shot, and then it goes onto the post. I mean, it's fine margins, isn't it?
So if you're counting on a defence to score your goals, then that's not a recipe for success.
Jarvis. I mean, how isolated was Jarvis for most of that game? It was almost like Goodwin wasn't even on the pitch. Yeah, I think he had one good shot.
He spent a lot of time chasing the channels, Goodwin, didn't he, working out for the team. He was obviously told to bulk up the midfield a bit and make us more difficult to play against. But of course,
it made us so isolated.
Yeah,
it was so isolated up front. Yeah.
What's interesting, just thinking about what you mentioned the hours teams, then Tom. If you're looking back on it, you don't look at this team and think that they look clueless. You don't look at them and think it's an absolute shambles and a mess like it was under ours at times. But there's just a lack of, I guess it's quality, isn't it? There's a lack of end product. Yeah. There's a lack of there's a lack of football sense in a lot of them, and a lot of them are youngsters, and that comes with age. But there's just a lack of sense of what to do at the right times. Like again, like you say with the goal, things like that, and they're very small things, but they cost you because that switch off and that ball's coming in. It happens like that, but it costs you so badly because actually that game, if that game had been 0-0. You'd say, well, that's a good point. We were better, we were more solid, we were resolute, kept a clean sheet, and actually we should have been really, because they weren't good enough to win. Really, it was a 0-0 game, really. But just because you find a way to concede a goal, you keep losing.
We spent a lot of time playing in front of their defence as well, there, which is exactly what they wanted because they could just keep an eye on us. We didn't get behind them hardly at all.
Nothing.
And then
but what do you need to get behind?
It comes down to your midfield then, doesn't it, to find something special or a set piece. And McGavin was supposed to be that man, I think, in the summer. He was brought in. I mean, we watched him against Exmouth, Chris, didn't he? He was getting instructions from Gary Johnson. You could tell, you're my man, you're going to be my playmaker.
I thought that's watching against Exeter as well.
You're the man who's going to bring this together, score goals, you're going to pull some strings. He's just not close to that at the moment, not close at all.
No.
But the question is, though, Dom, the answer to the question you just said there, what do you need to get in behind these teams? Width and pace.
We don't need a shot.
Yeah, but the trouble is your fullbacks haven't got any pace either. So you got Moxie and Donnellan who
Moxie should only be a centre back at the end of the day.
Down the sides. You've got Wern who's got skill but wants to cut in all the time. So you need
to a certain degree. It's circumstance, isn't it? Because I don't think Moxie will be playing out left back out of choice, but it's just sod's law that the two serious injuries we've got in the squad are both left backs. It just kind of sums it up because I don't think he would be playing there, would he, out of choice? But he's a perfect.
Goes back to summer again, though, doesn't it? He bought Crowe and Martin as the marauding wing backs to give us that pace and width down the thing, and it's not happened either. So a lot of it comes back to that summer recruitment, and that he just can't disguise that.
No,
I thought Moxie was quite decent on Saturday. I didn't think he was bad,
But when you want pace to get down there to surprise,
of course. I suppose a positive is Kieran Evans is back fit now. Or is on his way to being fit. So hopefully he can get some more minutes on his belt. And and I think when he got injured, I think I said he was one of the more consistent players, or was one that was
getting a bit of form,
the most promising.
No way.
But you'd ask the question: How'd you get him in?
Where's he playing now?
He only got in the squad on Saturday because De Silva wasn't fit. So if De Silva's fit and back next week, how'd you get him in?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I don't know if a half-time pint was kicking in, but I looked at the team when they came over to clap us, and I saw Asa Hall and went, "Jesus, when did you come on?"
Yeah, I think it was definitely that pint, Dom. They announced it and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 minutes, it wasn't worth putting him on at all, was it? It's just made no impression. When you need something extra from the bench, it wasn't him, was it?
Were you not following the TORQUAYTALK commentary on Saturday then?
Well, I was keeping an eye on you from beyond, Can't miss you and your beetroot, can you?
I know, the club photographer got me, didn't he? Brilliant.
There's a lot. That kit certainly, I was saying to Dom on Saturday, that kit certainly captured the imagination. There was a lot of beetroot there at the weekend. They just need to bloody wear it now. They've launched this kit. Everyone's gone out and bought it. They've not worn it.
It's going to be typical Torquay United. Yeah, we're going to release this third kit and we're never going to play in it.
I reckon it could be.
We've got bloody good strips, haven't we,
Oldham.
lads? That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But
it's got to be Oldham,
back-
innit? It's got to be.
Yeah. But going back to
the club's done right.
before we move on, quickly going back to how we're going to get these players into play a system. I think it's questions that Gary doesn't know the answer to. I still don't think he knows how to get the best out of this slot. Or maybe they are playing at their best and it just turns out they're not good enough for this level. It's quite funny, Barnet was the Barnet fans, the apparently 2,000 of them that were there. It wasn't. It was like
have a day
off.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. I love how they were singing Torquay Get Battered as they were battering us 1-0.
It's not really achievement really at this stage, is it?
No, but I guess we'll talk about it in the next episode. But I don't think Gary knows how to get the best out of this team still, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't know. About
when you're plugging away with somebody like Goodwin, who's played so many minutes and he's just so tired, you just need that change.
He looked like
impact, it's just
he looked like he played a lot of football. I think. Wade, you said it before, haven't you? Couple of games, he just looks like a lad that's played so much football.
Yeah, he does, and I mean, you just got to hope that because what's that, 5 midweeks in a row we've played? We said on Saturday, Don. I think it's 5 midweeks in a row. So you just hope a couple of clear weeks, because we've only got 1 midweek now before Christmas. So you just hope that a bit of time off, a bit of time training without the intensity of match days and all that comes with it, will hopefully give some of these younger lads, the ability to breathe and get their fitness, and I guess work on some stuff in training that they've got to, they've got to get right. But
I thought since we don't have the silver, we're just unbalanced again, don't we? Without that pace, there's no pace. It was a badly recruited team.
It was a narrower structure without De Silva in it. Of course it was, because I mean, Wern was pretty anonymous, really, wasn't he? He didn't really get into the game at all, but there was no width to the play at all. As Dom says, the fullbacks didn't get forward at all. So it all very much kind of came through that kind of middle corridor, kind of box to box almost, wasn't it? Without any kind of width to get any kind of balls in the box, which ironically was what cost us the game with a good cross in from out wide for them.
Yeah, fine margins. I mean, really, if you were seeing that as a neutral, you'd probably say it was 16th place, play 18th place. It was just, it was that kind of quality of. There was very little in it, but
shows the golfing quality between a team like Barnet, who well in their rights and have done well this season to be in the playoffs, compared to the Chesterfields, Notts Counties, and Wrexhams. It's such a huge gap in quality.
Yeah.
But
top 3 on a different level, though, aren't they? If you look
absolutely.
at the results,
Tom, isn't it?
Oh,
huge gap in budget.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you. I think that would be the first part. Thanks for watching that. Please like and subscribe and that stuff. Second part, we've got 2 questions for you. I'll give you a preview now. One's about if we can keep the quality of keep the loan players. Has the squad got enough to stay up? And the second one is if we lose on Saturday, is that the end for Gary Johnson? So yes, you've voted and you've replied. We'll discuss it. See you in episode 2.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. He stays onside. Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Banyan. Sells!